Assalamualaikum. I am Jawad Ahmed. Today we are present in the next class of budget line, in which going to cover the remaining aspects or remaining topics relating to the budget line that were not covered in our previous class. So before I can start this class, in order to have the complete knowledge of budget line, it is necessary to take the class or to click on the above button so you can understand what is the budget line and what are the basic education relating to the budget line that is necessary before we can start this advanced class. So in this class we are going to study what are the effects on the budget line if the income of the consumer is changes or the price of the product are changes. Let them study. Change in budget line is made due to two reasons. First one is income of the consumer changes. Changes means increase or decrease or have a financial aspect onwards towards our budget line, because it is a budget that we are going to expend on two products whose different combinations being studied in our previous class. And the second thing that is affecting our budget line is the change in prices of products. That is product 1 or change in price of product 2. Let's study this with the help of a graph so we can understand this concept in a better way. Firstly, I am drawing the same budget line in which on x-axis first quantity is taken. Let's say quantity of pizzas is taken on x-axis, and on y-axis the second quantity of the product is taken. In our previous example, it was burgers. So burgers are taken on y-axis while pizza is taken on x-axis. And here it is our budget line. It is our BL not means original position, and here the quantity at x-axis reflect the quantity of pizzas, and the quantity at y-axis present the maximum quantity of burgers. So at this point, the quantity of burgers is at maximum while burgers are on 0, and on this point pizzas are at 0 and burgers are on maximum quantity, means these are the extreme points, and between these points there are different combinations at which we are taking both quantities of the product, that is product A, B and C points reflect different combinations of both quantities. Means we are investing our budget on both products in such a way that we are obtaining some quantities of both products by remaining within our budget. And on this budget line, we have already studied that the consumer is rational and expending all his budget on these two products, that is pizzas and burger, in such a way that its total income remains the same, and he's taken the maximum quantity of pizzas and burger in a combination form. So if the income of the consumer is changes, then he has more income to be invested on the both products. So when the income of the consumer increases, he will purchase more quantity of products. One, let's say we are expanding quantity of pizzas, this quantity P naught. Then with the increase of the income, he will expend more money on pizzas, let's say that P1, and similarly he will take more quantities of burger. Firstly, let's say this point was quantity 0 or quantity not original position, and now he has a greater budget, so he will investing more of its budget on product 2, that is our burgers. So let's connect these points. A new a new budget line will be prepared that will be called as BL1. Here you see that when the income of the consumer increases, his purchasing power increases and he purchases more quantity of both products. So this new budget line represent different combinations of both product that is pizza and burgers. So when the income of the consumer increases, a new budget line will be prepared representing increase in both quantities product from the original prices or from our original budget line towards a new budget line. So whenever the price increases, a shift, a rightward shift will make changes in the original budget line. Similarly, when the income of the consumer decreases, same goes both one. Let's say quantity 1, product 1, quantity 2 of second product, that is burgers. Original budget line is this one, BL naught. If the income of the consumer decreases, then his purchasing power will also decrease and he will consume or he will expend lesser quantity of both goods. So the quantity of both product will also be decreased. These are the quantities that are at maximum position. Let's say that the change happens here. The consumer purchases less quantity of first product. So we can say this quantity at 1. And similarly for burgers, he will also purchase lesser quantity, let's say at quantity 2. And by connecting these points, a new budget line will be prepared that is called BL1. So here you see that whenever the income of the consumer decreases, you will see a leftward shift in budget line, showing that the consumer has lesser purchasing power, therefore expending lesser money on both products. So its budget remains the same. So this new budget line also represent different combinations of both products. So this is the change that has been happened whenever income of the consumer is changes. We have studied both points, increase as well as decrease. In case of increase in price, there will be a rightward shift. And in case of decrease, there will be a leftward shift in budget line. Now let's study what will be the change in budget line when there is a change in the prices of both products or any one of them. Let's make a budget line for them. Pizzas, and here will be burgers. Original budget line will be here, and this quantity is Q naught of burger pizzas, and this will be Q naught means original quantity of burgers. Let's say there is a change in the price of pizzas. Let's say pizza price has been increased, so the consumer will purchase lesser quantity of pizzas and more budget will be invested towards the burgers. So if this was the original quantity and he will start consuming less quantity of pizzas, then we can say that he will keep on consuming same quantity for burger, same quantity for burgers, while there will be a decrease in the consuming quantity for the pizzas. Here we have assumed that the prices of the burgers are fixed or does not change, while the change has only been happened in the prices of pizzas. Let's write them same for the burger as well. Burger, pizzas, making original, budget line, Q naught, Q naught. Let's say the prices for the burger have decreased. Then the consumer will consume more quantity of burgers while we are assuming that the prices of pizzas remains fixed. So if we are consuming at this level, then we will consume more quantity of that one. So here will be the change in the budget line, and new budget line will be called as BL1. So these are all the two type of changes that we have studied today. First one is change in income of the consumer, and second one is price of the goods. In case of income change, if income has increased, consumer has more purchasing power and he will consume more quantity of both products. Similarly, same applies in the case of decrease in income. In case of decrease in income, the purchasing power of the consumer decreases and he will purchase lesser quantity of both products. And second one was change in the price of the goods. So when there will be a change in price of the product, change in prices, let's say if price of first product is increased, then the consumer will consume less amount of this product. That will create a change in the budget line. In case of change in income of the consumer, there is a shift in budget line. When income increases, it is a rightward shift, and in case of decrease in income, it will be a leftward shift in budget line. When there is a change in price of the product, there is only a change in quantity of one product, while we are assuming that quantity of the second product remains fixed or does not change. So let's study this point from the notes. Effect of change in income of the consumer. If income of the consumer increases, budget line will shift parallel or rightward from both corners. Similarly, vice versa cases applied, and income of the consumer is decreases, budget curve is shifted parallel to leftward on the both points. And let's study what is the effect of change in price of the products. If price of the good increases, Let's make a lighter highlighter. If price of a good increases, budget will closer to the origin from the relevant one corner only. As we are assuming that the change is only in the quantity of one good. Similarly, vice versa case applies. When the price of the good decreases, budget will go away from the origin because the consumer will consume more quantity of the product whose price has been decreased. So it was our class on the change in the budget lines due to income and as well as the price of the product. Hope the concept has been well explained. In case of any questions, you can mention that one in the comment sections, and inshallah, I will try to reply them or share their required feedback as soon as possible. Let's meet in the next class with the next learning objective of microeconomics. Stay tuned for next topic. Thank you for your time.